with your toilet paper rolls,
Yep.
do you have them rolling with the paper down the front or the back?
Front.
Okay. I think that's the only way to do it.
I don't know. I think guys, for the most part, like it in the front, and then the girls like it in the back. I didn't mean for it to come out that way.
Well, that's exactly how it came out. Hey, welcome back to the Real Estate Podcast. Today, I've got a little quick fire round of questions for Ariel to find out what's it like living in the Kormendy household. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Real Estate Podcast, your go-to source for raw, unfiltered stories and expert tips. Whether you're a buyer, seller, tenant, landlord, or realtor, join us as we dive into the world of real estate.
Hey, didn't you wear that shirt last week?
I did, but I was not sitting on this side. I was sitting on that side.
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
that's how we know it's a different recording.
Right. Differentiated. Okay, so let's get right into it.
Yeah, so
Today's going to be a quicker podcast, and I have no idea what the topic is. I have no idea. You're going to ask me some questions. You mentioned that at the end of the last podcast, right?
Yeah, as I go around looking at houses and I observe the condition of somebody's home from a cleanliness and a tidiness perspective, and how they have things configured, it's clear that everyone does things differently. And there was one time, I haven't posted for a while, so this goes back a little while, but
Are you telling me a story or you're asking me questions?
I'm telling you a story. There was one time I posted a story of me cleaning my cooktop on my stove after I used it. And I have a gas range, so you've got the burners with like the stainless steel underneath it, and I clean that down. And I mean, and this person said, "Oh, how do you get it so clean?" And my thought is, well, I clean it every time I use it, because isn't that what you're supposed to do? But we walk into houses where that's not the case, and the stovetop is filthy dirty, and they let it get so bad that you can't reverse it, and it just gets really bad.
My stovetop, I just cleaned it on the weekend.
Okay.
And there are parts that, there were many times that we would cook something and something just gets left behind. You either don't clean it up or you forget to, or
so certain things like that for me would drive me crazy. So if I don't do it the same day, I do it the next morning, because I know how hard it can be to get things off after a while.
I'd like you to send me a photo of the current state of your stovetop.
Okay, I'll send. Hey Siri, send a text message to my wife saying, "Can you take a picture of the stovetop and send it to me, please?" I'll have that to you momentarily.
And not to clean it first. Knowing Alicia, she might clean it first. Yeah. Anyways, I get the drift. So what's the question?
Well, so the first part I just wanted to talk about, given this season, and I also need some content for a blog. I thought it would be appropriate to just quickly talk about some of the things that you routinely do in the winter around your house. And it doesn't have to be house related. It could be things in your house, even not real estate related. So for example, I will pull out my snowblower this time of year before the snow comes and make sure it's running. I'll let it run in the driveway for 10 minutes to make sure it's good. Mm-hmm. My motorcycle, I winterize it, which I have not done yet. So I'm wondering offhand, I've got a few that I do. I'm wondering offhand if you can think of some things that you do as we now head into the cold weather.
Well, I just did the backyard prep.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Like your furniture?
That's the big one for me, because that's it takes a little bit of effort when you really don't want to put the effort in, right? Because you're in between seasons now where it's kind of rainy, gloomy. You got to find space for the cushions. I left the cushions on this year. But I tarp everything and then I bungee tie it all so it's all nicely wrapped. Same thing with the barbecue. Are you okay?
Yeah, sorry.
I don't need that picture right now. All of a sudden start a conversation with your wife mid-podcast.
Well, listen, you wanted me to get you the picture.
I've been to your house. I know you, and you have certain...
Have you ever had rodents get into your furniture outside?
Couldn't tell you. I would assume so.
But they haven't destroyed it.
Not yet.
No.
I was at BMW for an oil change, a month ago or so, and they found evidence of a rodent in my engine compartment, and they chewed some of the firewall.
Mm-hmm. I've had that.
And they left some poop behind.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to get it all shampooed and everything. I figured it's up at the cottage, though.
Probably.
Especially in the
Maybe
fall.
not. I had it in my Audi, in my driveway.
Yeah, but I park in the garage.
Oh, right.
And there's no signs of rodents in the garage, never have.
Right.
We keep it closed.
Yeah.
What else do I do around the house this time of year? That's a good question. Like, I make sure all of the filters are changed for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Furnace filter, but also the 2 fridge filters.
Just as a general rule that time of year, so you remember to do it.
Yeah. Basically, just after we turn the heat on.
Right.
So we turn the heat on in the house. I leave the current filter in there a little bit because now it's getting all maybe different dust is accumulating. I don't know. It's all in my head maybe, but it's my reminder that, I have the Nest
Protect
throughout the house, so I don't have to replace anything, but I do run the test on all of them.
Most people don't.
Yeah. So,
I mean, 1 or 2 meals a year for me, if not a handful, test it anyways.
Yeah, but it tests for CO and smoke.
Oh, I see.
So make sure the full system is working and make sure they're working together, because if you have some issue in the basement, it actually notifies the others as well.
Mm.
So I do that. I end up liking to do paint touch-ups throughout the house during the cold months because I find I'm inside more often.
Mm-hmm.
And you know me, I'm not the type that can sit down and watch movies every night or whatever. So I'm always looking for little tasks. So this time of year, it's a lot of smaller in-home projects.
Yeah, those are good. It keeps the house looking fresh.
Yeah, or fresher.
Yeah.
I know.
Gives the trim a good coat.
Exactly.
Every now and then.
Yeah. I have a can of paint. It's actually a special order with at Bergsma's, but they have it identified as Ariel's trim paint. You can go as a client now. If for those of you listening, go to Bergsma's and order Ariel's trim paint. That is the best trim paint that you need 1 can on hand.
Okay.
For all your trim. And so I always have a can of that, give it a good shake, pull out my trusty trim brush and touch it up.
It's a tedious task, but it goes a long way.
Huge. Makes everything pop.
Some of the things we do are, well, just today we were talking about some drafts. Our front doors have a draft.
Yeah, mine too.
So you can go pick up those little wedges that help create a little bit of a tighter seal.
What do you mean?
Like a little foam pad that's shaped like a wedge, like a shim almost. And it has a sticky side to it. So you stick it in the door. So when it closes, it creates a tighter seal.
Oh, like a sweep thing.
No, like in the bottom left or the bottom right of where the door closes in the door jamb.
Okay.
You get these
in
little
the corner?
foam pads and it sticks on the inside.
Okay.
So the door shuts and it makes that a tighter seal.
Oh,
so if there's a little gap, it blocks the air from coming in. And
interesting. I might have to get some of those.
Yeah, you can pick up, Home Depot, Amazon, wherever. So that's something we have to do because we've had a couple come off. We also take the screens out of our windows. Alicia did that. I saw them downstairs.
Why do you do that?
Because routinely during the winter, we'll walk around and wipe the windows down. Condensation.
You have that much condensation?
Enough that I just don't want to leave it.
Why do you have
there.
so much condensation?
Well, because they're older windows.
Oh.
And the humidity is maybe a bit higher than...
If you wonder why I'm asking, grilling Adrian right now, you should
because I said my windows are good.
Should listen to the last podcast.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing that a lot of people do, they go to so many houses we go walk through, there's mold and dirt on the inside window frame, right? Because people are not caring for them. We'll even open the ones up that open.
You don't open the windows in the winter ever? or you're not concerned
Rarely,
about
but I'm
stuff
not concerned
coming
about
in?
stuff. Yeah. But I'll even so.
Do
I'll
you have your wife has asthma?
Yeah.
Do you have HEPA filtration of any kind in the house?
No.
No.
We don't really need. It's not that severe. It bugs her in the spring and the fall.
Yeah, but whether or not somebody in the house is asthmatic or not, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have one in the basement, and I spend a fair amount of time in the basement, as you know.
Did you ever get a radon tester down there?
Yeah, I got the AirView Plus.
Airwave
Plus.
And how's the level?
I showed you before. You just forget. Your memory sucks.
It's probably similar to mine.
AirThings.
Oh,
we were
AirThings.
both wrong.
AirThings, yeah.
So I have one at home and at the cottage. It's called the View Plus or whatever.
The Wave Plus.
Anyway, it measures radon, your particular matter, your CO, your VOCs, your humidity, and some other matter, temperature, and pressure.
So what's your, I'm going to compare. I got my basement one here. What's your basement?
Radon?
Yeah.
Currently? 58.0.
Oh, I'm 59.
Particular matter 2.5 is...
I don't have that one.
What do you have?
VOCs?
144.
Oh, I'm 414. VOCs aren't that bad, but I don't know what. That's probably because I have my dumbbells, rubber dumbbells.
Click on your average, though. If you click on it, it should give you an average.
My average is around 150.
Yeah, my average is 150.3.
Yeah. CO2?
Currently, 673.
Mine's 1,000. That's probably because I was working.
Oh, your numbers seem pretty high there, Adrian.
I was working out down there today, and I was fucking pushing hard, man.
What are you, a fucking cow, and you're pushing out
I'm standing
ethanol from your ass?
I'm standing right in front of the sensor, and I'm breathing out carbon dioxide. So I fill the basement with carbon dioxide.
That was 7 hours ago.
Well, we have poor ventilation. What's your humidity at?
40%.
I'm 48. So that's
mine is low. I know that our house is dry.
Temperature?
On the air things is 22.4 in the basement.
Yeah, I'm 22. Very similar.
Yeah. Pressure?
989. I don't know what that means.
987.
Our houses are built by the same people. 5 feet apart. The number should be pretty similar.
See, I could have saved $400.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about here, so it's called the AirThings Wave or some View Plus, I think.
They have different products.
They have different products. The one I have, I bought as a package with 2 or 3 of them. So I have one in the basement because I was concerned about radon levels. That's been in
That's why
the
I bought
news
it
a lot.
originally.
We talked about it in one of our podcasts, specifically about radon. There's a lot of new builds west of where we live, which that is now a radon mitigation system is automatically installed.
Code, yeah.
And the research now that they're doing with radon, you definitely want to make sure that
do your due diligence. Make
sure the levels are okay.
Yeah. And it's pretty easy to measure and mitigate.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. But if your levels are high and you don't know it, it could be a big health risk.
Huge. It's the number one leading, outside of cigarettes, it's the number one leading cause of lung cancer.
Yeah. So this one I love and I put one at the cottage because I was concerned about the dust from the road, and I didn't know what the radon levels there are. The radon at the cottage is always like as close to 0 as possible, which blows my mind. And everything there is always like the air there is obviously much better.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised, but this measures all of those things: the CO, the particular matter,
and it'll also give you. It can't detect if there is mold, but it has an algorithm to determine if there's a likelihood. What the likelihood is of mold existing?
Yeah,
is the environment conducive to mold growing? And
this is simple. It's a battery kind of like a smoke.
Quite a while.
Yeah, smoke detector. and you can just easily install it. They give you a 2-sided tape to install it on a wall somewhere. You sync it with your Wi-Fi, download the app, and you monitor everything from the app. So I can tell you my numbers at the cottage or the basement anytime.
And for
it's fantastic.
Anyone listening that's a home automation geek, it also works with things like Home Assistant. So I have on my Home Assistant desktop, I have all 5 sensors for temperature and humidity, so I can see immediately throughout the house what the levels are.
That's great.
Okay. So getting away from winter stuff and more into just more general things around the house, and just to see what you do compared to me, and compared to our audience.
Okay.
So something simple as an example is with your toilet paper rolls.
Yep.
Do you have them rolling with the paper down the front or the back?
Front.
Okay. I think that's the only way to do it.
I don't know. Somebody here keeps switching it. Did you notice?
No.
To put it at the back. I think the back is harder to reach.
It's harder to reach. And like,
I don't know. I think guys for the most part like it in the front, and then the girls like it in the back. I didn't mean for it to come out that way.
Well, that's exactly how it came out. I think the front's the only way to go, because like with our cleaners, when we have our listings cleaned, they always do the fancy little something.
Yeah.
Right, with the toilet paper.
Right.
Whether it's just folding it in. You can't do that if it's facing backwards.
Okay. Thank you for asking about how I prefer
do you
my
like it in the front
paper.
or the back better?
Yeah.
And do you make your bed every morning?
Yes. I do now.
Yeah. Is that a relatively
all the
new
beds,
thing?
all the beds. Like that's a Natalie thing too. She trained me.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay. I always took you for a bed maker.
Nah, I never. It depends. If it was a work day, I oftentimes. Here's the thing, actually. When I was employed and had a normal job, not an entrepreneur stage, I always dreaded going to work, or, in my 20s and very early 30s, because we've been in this business now since we were 30. So in my 20s, when I was employed, I hated my job for the most part and always ended up at work right on time or a little bit late or very little bit early, right? Like never coming in an hour or two before my shift and I used to like to party and stay out late and stay up and play video games or watch a movie or go out on a date or whatever. So the last thing that I had time for was doing my bed. But as I got older, having a lot of pillows on the bed and a nice comfortable bed, maybe winding down, you have a glass of wine with a bubble bath and you want to get into it like almost like in a hotel environment.
Yeah.
But now it's become a matter of, what are you doing?
I'm looking at the next question. These are supposed to be quick questions. You can give me whatever you're feeling.
Yes. I make my bed. Okay. Do you?
Well, my bed's always made. So our rule is whoever's out of bed last makes the bed. And sometimes that doesn't always apply. Like sometimes you'll do it anyways, but yeah, the bed's always made. We talked about this one, testing smoke detectors. So you're obviously diligent at testing your smoke detectors.
Well, that's what I love about the Nest Protect.
You could do it on the app?
Yeah.
So you don't have to get up there.
Oh, no, you don't.
That's nice.
Yeah, you just hold down a button on your app and it does it.
How often do you clean your appliances? Well, let's just say fridge.
I just did it on Saturday.
And when was the last time before that?
When it was dirty.
Because fridges, well, a lot of people don't do that. How many listings you walk into?
In my calendar.
And you open the fridge.
Oh, it's fucking September 2nd. Today is clean the fridge day.
So you just wait for it to stink a little bit and then you're like, okay, it needs to be clean.
Stink. It doesn't ever stink.
You just know.
Yeah, if it's fucking dirty. Here's the thing. I think with the fridge, like I did this one just before my surgery, so a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And because it's nice when you open a fridge, you want it to be clean.
Right.
That's like fridge, your kitchen inside and out and your bathroom inside and out should be clean.
Right.
It's the highest area of contamination and bacteria, and
I agree.
the biggest areas where it could potentially make you sick.
Yes.
And you might not even know that it's making you sick, but it's making you sick.
Right.
If you're putting your food in there that you're going to consume, it should be relatively clean.
Agreed.
I am shocked how many fridges I open up in my day-to-day, and I'm like, how do you, like, that, is that chicken?
Right. How long have your leftovers been in there? Like I'll toss them regularly.
Yeah. Like the leftovers are growing leftovers. That might be the time to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're getting ready for work. You're about to head out the door. Your shoes are on. You got your wallet. You got your jacket.
I don't have
your
a wallet.
bag.
Yeah.
But you don't have your keys. You forgot them in the kitchen. Are you taking your shoes off to go get
100%.
them? Always. So shoes always off.
Yeah.
Okay. We're the same. If I get caught with shoes on the floor, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. We're the same. Regardless though, you don't know what you're tracking in the house, and then that ends up in your bed, or right?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I saw a video recently, and it showed
or the kids, you know.
Oh yeah,
the dog, even whatever.
I saw a video recently of someone that did carpet cleaning for a living, and they showed dumping the machine out after cleaning a house where they walked with their shoes versus one that they didn't. It was pretty gross.
Now, a lot of people are into indoor shoes. Like you have,
I could do that.
Like they go Mr. Dress Up style. So they get home, they take off their outdoor shoes and then put their indoor shoes on. I have slippers, which have a sole and all that, and I use them, but they get fucking hot. I thought about, but there's something also nice about having bare feet, or oftentimes I'll just keep I'll put a fresh pair of socks on for home.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. After going out showing houses, I usually change my socks.
Yeah, but you go in there and take your shoes off. I don't take my shoes off anymore. I have booties.
Oh, because you put your booties on.
Yep.
That's right.
My shoes stay on at anybody's house.
Next one is pest control. Are you reactive or proactive?
At home is different than the cottage.
Okay.
And what kind of pests are you talking about?
Well, just in general, like I was thinking today, we had a call from a tenant who has probably a squirrel in their...
Yeah, very reactive.
Yeah.
In fact, our doors, front door and back door, get left open all the time. And I'm just waiting for some rats
or a deer.
Yeah.
Like the deer that was in your backyard.
Yeah, I don't know.
We got to dig up that video.
I have it somewhere.
I think people should be more proactive with that stuff, like looking at your exterior vents, making sure they're functioning properly.
If you're talking about that kind of stuff, yeah.
Have you ever cleaned the exterior of your house, like sprayed down the brick and the siding? And
Yep, I do that every spring, like when it's warmer in the spring, and I just do the hose and hose down the brick because a lot of dust and dirt accumulates on it. A lot. You'd be shocked.
That's crazy to see it all.
I wipe down the inside of the light fixtures, and then I would say every 2 years I've called the window cleaners to come, and I've done that now, 3 times over the last 8 years or so.
Right.
$150, and they clean the windows and the sills for you and all that.
And there's cleaning companies they specialize in that.
Yeah.
What's in your kitchen junk drawer?
Everything. What's not in the kitchen junk drawer is probably easier. It's funny that you didn't ask me if we have a kitchen junk drawer, because everybody does.
It's assumed everyone does. Everyone needs a spot.
Good luck finding, like, if you have a kitchen junk drawer and it's organized, I don't like you.
But it's organized in their mind. They know exactly where something is.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Do you rotate your mattress?
The ones that yes and no. I got to think about how many mattresses are throughout, and that would include the cottage too, right? Like how many?
Well, you either do or don't.
Not all of them need it.
Okay. We don't.
Like the newer ones?
Yeah, some of them you can't.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like our king size one, you can't.
Right.
Everything else can
Well, you
be.
could probably rotate it. You just can't flip it.
Well, you definitely can't flip it, but I don't think you can rotate them either.
Alicia won't let us rotate ours because I have a permanent indent on mine.
How old's your fucking mattress, bro?
It's not original. We got a king bed maybe.
What do you mean original? You bought that secondhand too, you cheap bastard?
I mean original with regards to how long we've been in the house. I would say it's maybe 5 to 8 years old.
Yeah, you're like the guy that said his appliances were 5 to 6 and they're 14.
13, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you pre-rinse your dishes? I think I know the answer to that one for you. And that's probably why you've gone through 4 dishwashers.
No, they're not dirty completely because they end up going in the sink and water kind of pre-rinses them a little bit from washing hands or rinsing something else or whatever. But we're not like you. We don't wash them and then put them in the dishwasher.
Fair enough. Blue bin or blue bags?
Neither. I use clear bags.
You know what I mean. Bags or bins?
Bags.
Okay.
I don't like the bins because, first of all, you see how much garbage we put out and recycling we put out every week?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And
hard to contain it all if it gets windy.
Yeah. There's nothing I hate more than when a street has garbage or recycling all over.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's so much easier now with all the cardboard and everything. So once they made that an option in Milton that you can bag it instead of putting it in the bins, I took advantage.
Do you use compost or just throw it all in the garbage?
No, we use compost, but there's definitely things that. Are you going to answer these two, or are you just going to keep asking me?
I can answer some.
Yeah. Definitely there are things that end up in the garbage that probably could go in the compost or in the recycling.
I think there's a lot more things that people don't realize could go in the compost.
Right.
Or should be in them. Like greasy pizza boxes.
Right.
That's compost.
Yeah.
It won't get recycled. Yeah. We are pretty diligent with composting. I think I've met many people that don't like to because they think it stinks or whatever, but I don't find it does.
Not if you have and now they have those Febreze bags. I hate those, but if you take the bag out.
Yeah, they do smell nice. I'm sure it's not good for you.
I don't know if they smell nice. It makes me nauseous, but I get nauseous with smells. But if you take that bag out every couple of days, it doesn't really stink.
Yeah, as long as you're changing it regularly. And you're not putting it's just a little bin.
Yeah.
And I leave my lid open.
Yeah, we do too. But the problem with that, if you leave it for more than a day,
fruit flies and stuff like that.
No bacteria.
Oh, well, that's okay. You're not touching it or eating out of it.
But you're breathing something.
Yeah.
How did that come up?
I don't know. Robbie, something popped up on TV. Not a big deal.
Well, it's a good sign that we're probably running overtime anyway.
Is your sock drawer folded? Are stocks folded or are they just thrown in there? If I look in your drawers, are they organized or messy?
My socks are in a bin and they're all coordinated.
In a bin?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Why is it weird?
Like what do you mean bin?
A basket.
Okay.
My socks are in a basket.
Okay.
And they're all together and I roll them together.
Okay. And are the interior doors of your house, are they generally...
The weirdest fucking questions you come up with.
Are they generally opened or closed?
Is this some kind of weird bio video that you're doing that I didn't even know about?
I just want to know how people live.
What about your socks?
My drawers are...
Your fucking anklets.
My drawers are neat and tidy. I can get a picture for you right now.
You have to come up with all the evidence?
Yeah.
So you have a sock drawer?
Well, socks
and underwear? Oh, okay.
Yes, and I have my...
So you're not in your 40s yet. You're still living in your 20s and 30s.
What does that mean? Because I don't have a bin?
Hey.
Or a basket?
A basket. Basket socks are where it's at when you have style.
Interior doors, opened or closed?
What are you talking about?
Interior doors in your house while you're home. If the bedroom doors, as an example...
It depends on the room.
But if... Okay. Do you generally keep them open or closed? There's no answer to that? No definitive
it depends
answer?
on the room.
Okay.
The powder room, as an example, is usually closed.
Okay.
Because it's an outward opening door.
Well, that makes sense.
So
I think all of ours are inwards.
Well, your powder room is inwards because if it was outwards, you wouldn't be able to pass the foyer.
Right.
Mine, you'd still be able to walk around it.
But if yours was inwards, you wouldn't be able to close it once you were in.
What?
If yours opened inwards and you walked in, it would be a bit awkward to close it.
Right.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Because you'd have to squeeze to close it.
But I know there's a lot of people that keep their doors closed because they think it's more efficient for regulating heat and air conditioning and stuff in unused rooms.
Like our third bedroom.
Yeah.
We have a 4-bedroom home. The third bedroom is set up as a gym, which we don't use.
Right. What makes it the third bedroom?
Its location. It's the fourth bedroom.
Like if you go from
you go clockwise from the
master.
ensuite, from the
primary. Got it. So that one's closed.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all. Those are my questions for today.
Super.
Yeah. Thanks for joining.
All right. I can't wait to read this blog. See you next week.
See ya. Thanks for tuning into this week's episode. Make sure you subscribe, show some love so you don't miss out on next week's episode. And if you felt so obliged to let us know how you handle some of these daily tasks, comment below. Thanks.